Guys, this is what we discussed in the last session. You see that we have the different products, different database products, Microsoft, Oracle. Guys, if anybody is somebody trying to speak, you let me know. So if you have any questions, otherwise I can continue. Okay. Yeah. So now here, guys, so we have different products and different vendors. All these products we can start using, guys, once we learn SQL. Once this training is completed, I can give you the assurance that you can work on any database product, guys. So
Well,
that's how.
I cannot hear you.
I think Jake, so you have to join for audio. I think all others are able to hear me. I'm not sure. So this is all, different vendors, and we are when these vendors are developing these products, they added SQL commands as well as, and also some more additional commands in their products. And each, I mean, these vendors, they started calling their commands as Microsoft company. They started calling it as a T-SQL, and Oracle company, they said their commands are all those commands are together. They started calling as a PLSQL, and MySQL company, they implemented product and they started calling their commands as MySQL commands. So this is all the languages. So do we really need all these languages are required? It's not required, because 80% of commands are same, guys. See, now I started working on initially my career started in Microsoft SQL Server T-SQL. Later I started very less changes, very less differences are there in the PLSQL. So we can learn ourselves PLSQL. And after I started working on Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle, I easily able to pick up on other databases. And I right now we are working on a PLS PostgreSQL database. All our projects in our institute is running under PLSQL database, because this is a free. I mean, this is a freeware. We don't need to purchase licenses. Licenses are not required for PostgreSQL. But Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle license is required, guys. We need to purchase it from Microsoft and Oracle company for commercial purpose. If you want learn for practice purpose, for doing the research purpose, we don't need to purchase from these vendors. Microsoft and Oracle is providing free softwares for learning purpose. So that's free softwares only I shared to you other day. So you can, I hope you are all downloaded that software, and today we are going to install that software. This is what, guys. And now the required softwares. So we are going to concentrating to learn Transact SQL and PLSQL, T-SQL and the PLSQL. For T-SQL, we need these two softwares. For PLSQL, we need Oracle software as well as SQL Developer Component software. And now today we are going to see how to install these two in our system. Okay, this is fine. And this is what some history, guys, what we have spoken about the SQL Server and the different versions of SQL servers what we have. But here, guys, I would like to make some notes. So now here, all these versions up to 2008, all these versions got expired, guys. That means a product will expire, guys. Every product will expire. What does that meaning of the expired? You see that now iPhone 5s is also expired. Sir, I'm still using iPhone 5, sir. How you are saying it is expired? It means the vendor who developed that iPhones, Apple company. So Apple company, there is no more going to support those products if you get any issue. That's why if you can take your iPhone 5 or iPhone 5s to the Apple Care Center, they will say that, sorry, sir, we are not going to support these products anymore, because they ended their support. Expired is nothing but they stopped supporting those products. But still customers can use that products. You see, lot of companies still using these some of these version of SQL servers in their company. Still they are using, guys. But if they got any issues, that Microsoft company is not going to support. They will not going to answer to their issues, guys. Even paid service is also not there. But paid service is there, but I'm not sure. But once Microsoft is officially announced so and so versions are expired, they don't support, guys. Even for paid also, they don't support. Okay. So this is what the versions currently Microsoft is supporting. So expired represents, so let me put that note here, guys. Expired refers the vendor officially closed the support. Closed the support means if any issues will come, usually, guys, for suppose now we are using Microsoft SQL Server 2017. I got some issues. I have so many questions. Then I can call the customer care and they can support me. First 1 year, actually, they will give the free kind of service. Not even first 1 year, guys. First 2 months. After that, it is a paid service. They will bill for every, for suppose if they work with us for 1 hour, they can charge per 1 hour some amount. Like that they can support, guys. Okay, but that's fine. Just like our mobile phones, guys, for suppose I have the warranty or guarantee for 1 year, so if any repairs will come, they can do that free of cost. After 1 year, they start charging. So similar to that, this is the same thing. Okay, this is right now, these products are not expired, guys. That means Microsoft, these products are still support is there. So Microsoft is supporting these products. I can put that note. Microsoft is still providing support for this version of products. I will wrap this one. Okay, so this is what, guys, that expiration. Okay, this is fine. And to install, so now we are going to use this version of SQL Server, guys, 2017. For that, we need these hardware requirements, and we should have .NET Framework software. You can, I will show you that, guys, where you can get the .NET Framework software. We really don't need to download from Google. It's not required. It's already .NET Framework software is also included inside SQL Server software. We can install that one. That is enough. And these three softwares, we don't bother about these three. And operating systems, Windows 7 or 8. So to install SQL Server 2017, we need Windows 8 or 10 OS, guys. Windows 7 will not support. So if anyone is using Windows 7 OS, let me know. I will give you the MS SQL Server 2014 software. I will give you this software, guys. 2014, because there is no much difference, guys. 2014 and 2017, only there are couple of commands are there in 2017. We are going to use that commands, but those commands will not work in a 2014 version. That's only the difference. This is fine. So now, guys, I'm moving on to that, the installation. So I already have the screenshots, guys. This is the document installation of 2017. So let me open this document, and I written that notes as well, what you need to do, what you have to click, where you have to click during the installation, what options we have to select, all that I taken out the screenshots with all these notes. You can follow these screenshots there, because I want you to do this installation, guys, first, in the first attempt. Okay. In case if it is not done, then we can work together. Okay. But I want you to do this first. Okay. First, we need to install .NET Framework as shown in the below screenshot. Guys, open this link. Okay. I think still this link is valid. Open this link. Once you open this link, you will see like this, guys, like this in a screenshot, and download .NET Framework 4.8 runtime. Just download this one. It's a small software, and install it. Otherwise, okay, after download and install, this is very mandatory, guys. We have to restart the computer. This is very important. After restart the computer, we can start installation of SQL Server. So now here I'm going to, so this is my virtual machine, guys. I'm going to install this SQL Server in this virtual machine, and this OS is a Windows Server related OS, guys. This is not Windows 7, not 8, not Windows 10. This is a server related operating system. I'm using server related operating system because I have this OS. That's why I'm using. I tried with Windows 10, guys, but Windows 10 is taking, it is too much slow in my laptop. Maybe because of processor capacity or RAM capacity. Because of that, it is taking too much slow. That's why I deleted that Windows 10 virtual machine. Yeah, I'm going to logging into this mission. Yeah, under this mission also I can install SQL Server. Same, guys. Same way, same thing. There is no difference. I just downloaded this OS from Microsoft site. So now here it is coming up. I see that these are the two softwares, guys. So now these are two softwares. You see that over here in this, where is that? My Google Drive folder here. So 2017. This in this folder, guys, I given you the access another day. So you can able to see the same folder name. You should receive that email invitation. So this is what one zip file. Yes. What it is saying. So these are the two files, guys. SQL 2017 zip file. Okay, let me log in back, guys. I think I need to log in into my Gmail account. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will do that later. So the same two softwares I downloaded from that same Google Drive, and I copied into my virtual machine over here. See, these are the two softwares, guys. I extracted that zip file. Inside that zip file, I'm able to see this one, SQL 2017 folder, and this one. So there is no order, guys. You can either install SSMS software first, or else we can install SQL Server 2017 first. Either one is okay. Okay, so now I'm going to open and install SQL 2017 software first, and then after SSMS. Let me open this folder. And here you see that this is what setup, guys. Sir, what about the .NET framework? So that's what I'm coming to that here. Let's go to here, Redist folder, guys. Inside this folder, just open this Redist folder. Inside this Redist folder, we have .NET frameworks folder. Open that. And there we can see .NET framework softwares, guys. This is for .NET framework 4.0, and this is for 4.0 full set, and this is a 4.5. 4.5 is the version, guys, and this is a 4.6. So I already installed this 4.6, guys. Yesterday, when I am copied these two to this virtual machine, I installed this .NET framework, because .NET framework installation will take almost close to 20 minutes, guys. So to save that time, I just already installed this one. Just double click and say next. That's it. It will start the installation automatically. Once this installation is done, I mean, we need to reboot this system. Reboot means restart the computer. So once the restart is done, then we are opening this same SQL 2017 folder, and this is what the setup file, guys. You see that setup file. Don't use this config one. This is what setup. Just double click on that. It will open installation center, one window. That window we are going to calling as installation center. So now I just double click on this, guys, and you can minimize all this. Let's wait for window. Window will come. It will take some time, guys, a minute to pop up that window. So that is what that same thing we have in this sheet as well, guys. You see that same. This is what, once you click on this setup file. So double click on the setup file highlighted in the screenshot. This is what highlighted in the screenshot. So it will open new window. That window we are going to calling as installation center. In that installation center, go to installation tab and select this option, new SQL Server standalone installation. This is what, guys. Okay, this is installation center, SQL Server installation center. There, go to installation option and click on the first option. And once you click on first option, the setup will start. SQL Server 2017 setup is started. This is the separate window. And there you see it is asking product key, license terms, global rules. All this is a pages, guys. And we are going to see that same thing here. This is my which one. You see that now we are seeing this is SQL Server installation center. You see this, guys, in this planning section. This is all different sections. Planning section, installation, maintenance, tools, resources. All these are not required, guys. In the under planning section, you will see hardware and software requirements. If you click on here, it will be connected to the internet, and it will open that. What are the hardware and software requirements for this SQL Server? And whatever we already discussed, the same thing it will show in the, or in this link as well. So go to the installation section, and here it is the first option, guys, new SQL Server standalone installation. This is the first option. Click on it. That's it, guys. We don't need to install any other components or any other software. It's not required for us. It's not at all required, because the required ones are going to install in this. So now it is going to start now. It is started, guys. And this whole installation, it will take minimum 10 minutes. I mean, 10 or 15 minutes to up to 1 hour, guys. That depends on the computer configuration. If your computer configuration is very well and good, then it will take 20 minutes. Otherwise, sometimes it will take 1 hour also. That's what I observed in our students' laptops, guys. Okay. See, now it is asking product key, license terms, global rules. All these us we have to work through. So now, right now, we are in a product key. What product key you wanted to this? See, first it is showing developer. Specify a free edition developer. Guys, don't change this. Keep it developer only, because this developer edition is the free edition, and Microsoft is giving this edition for free to all the students and to perform some kind of R&D type of works, but not for commercial, but not for business. Okay. So corporates will not use developer edition. This is not for corporates. This is for students and for practice purpose. And if I click next, I will go to the next page. Guys, this is all the left side options we are going to calling as pages. Right now we are in a product key page. If I click next, I will go to license terms. Let me click next here. I will go to license terms. Same thing in these screenshots also, guys. Same thing in these screenshots also. You see that right now we are in a product key. And if I click next, I will go to license terms here. I'm in a license terms. In the license terms, you have to accept the license terms. That is mandatory. And then if I click next again, I will go to global rules. So now we are in a global rules. Same thing, I will walk you through this. So now here, we accept the license terms and click next. Once you click on these access license terms, click next. Now I will go to global rules. Yes. So in the global rules, now what is happening in the global rules? It is going to verify our system is ready to install SQL Server software or not. Click back button. So click on show details. See that it is verified all these options, and it is showing everything is passed, guys. If you see anything is a failed, then it will not allow us to install. Everything should be passed, guys. Everything. But if it is anything showing warning, that is also fine. But we have to make sure failed should be 0. Here you see that in the top it is saying operation completed, passed 9, failed 0. If anything is showing a failed is any of these rule is a failed, then we can't do this installation. Usually, guys, after installation of .NET framework, if we don't restart the computer, then this third option will show failed. Why this restart computer will fail? Because before start the installation of SQL Server, we have to restart the computer. Before start the installation of SQL Server, sir, I installed .NET framework, but I have not restarted the computer. In that case, we will see restart computer will show that failed. For suppose, sir, I have not installed the .NET framework, sir. Then this last bottom one, guys, the second one from the bottom, that will show the failed. If you have already installed .NET framework, minimum version is 3.5, guys. See that minimum 3.5 version, that is enough. But I installed 4.6 version .NET framework. So that's why it is showing fast. So these are the two, guys, we will see very frequently, but rest of the things will definitely will pass. Rest of the things. Okay. And click next. So now I am in a Microsoft updates. See now, guys, it is asking us to check for any updates are there. So if you select this box and click next, then what will happen? This computer will be connected to the internet and it will try to download all the updates. Guys, there are a lot of updates, but we don't need those. So I'm not going to download and install those updates right now. During this installation, I don't want download and install any updates. So now leave this option. Don't select this option, guys. Just leave it and say next. Now we are moving on to the product updates. So we left that option. So that's why it is not going to do anything with the product updates. That's why it is directly skipped to install set of files. Yeah. Same thing, same notes, guys, same screenshots. Just read this note, guys. Okay, before you click on, before you do something, read these notes. If you want to download the update, then select the checkbox, use Microsoft Update, and then click next. Otherwise, don't do that. So now here, next we are in install rules. Let me go back to that. Yeah, right now here in the install set of files. So it is going on, guys. Install set of file, it is still going on. So that's why I'm not seeing next button is enabled. It is going on, even though it is looks like no activity is say it is saying not responding. But leave it, guys. Don't do anything. Just leave that system as it is. Okay. When you see it is a struck or something like that, don't do restart or don't stop the computer. Just leave it. Leave that system for some time, and then definitely it will resume. Okay, this is fine. So just wait for a minute, let it finish this install set of files. Now it is copying all files to my C drive, guys. It is installing some of the pre-required files and copying all files to my computer. Just wait. That's what it is taking time. So now it is automatically moved to install rules. See that in install rules, we have 4 rules and first 3 rules are passed. The fourth one is showing warning. So warning is not a problem, guys. If it is showing failed, then that is the problem. If it is showing warning, warning means warning is saying that boss, there is no problem with installation of SQL Server, but we have to work on this Windows firewall stuff after this installation. After this installation, also you can work on Windows firewall. So there is some warning related to the Windows firewall. So we can ignore that one because I turn on firewalls. That's why it is showing warning. Usually in our database systems, firewalls will be turned off, guys. Okay, so that is fine, that we can ignore these warnings, guys. So now click next. If I click next, I will move on to the feature selection. This is very important, guys. Now here we need to select that features, some set of features, which features we need to install. SQL Server bundle comes up with a lot of features, but we don't really need to install all these features. You see these guys, machine learning services and Polybase services, Polybase and all related to the Hadoop. So now here, machine learning services, R, Python, right? All these are not required. R, Python and all for data science, doing some kind of analysis. R, Python, this is all not required. Under replication, Polybase services, quality services, this is all not at all related to us, guys. There is so many teams are going to work on this database and other teams will use this stuff. But for our SQL people, we don't need all this. And I have documented the features, which one we need to select here. Database engine services, this one you have to select. And the client tools connectivity, integration services. And the next screenshot we have client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, SQL, client connectivity SDK. Only these guys, whatever I selected, you select only those features. No need, other features are not at all required for us. Because if you select other features, the installation will take more space and also it will take more time. And also guys, so if you want to install machine learning service server, you should have to already install R server in your laptop. And you should have already installed Python utilities in your system, in your laptop. And if you want to install Polybase, you should have already installed Java runtime environment, minimum 1.8 version. All these are there because we are not going to use this, then why should I install, right? So that's where I'm going to skip these features, some of these features which we are not going to use. So select that features only, the ones which we are going to use that. See, this is my mission. So I'm going to select the database engine service. All these are not required. Let's scroll down in this window. Go down here. Client tools connectivity and integration services. Client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, and SQL client connectivity SDK. That's it. This is all features I'm going to select. I'm going to install, guys. See that all those features are going to install in a C drive, but we are installing only very less features, right? Yeah, that's why it is taking a 1479 MB space. Otherwise, if you are going to install all these features, it needs a 3 GB space, guys. 3 GB means close to 3000 MB. Okay, you see that in this window, it is saying, let me maximize this window, guys. You see that over here, guys, already installed PowerShell, .NET Framework 4.6 is already installed. I installed yesterday, guys, 4.6. And now see here, and to be installed from media, Microsoft Visual C++ 2015 redistributables are going to install automatically. And the Visual Studio Tools for Application 2005 are going to install. From media means to be installed from media. From media means software bundle. Whatever software bundle is there here, this one. From this bundle, it is going to install VC++ Redist portables already there, guys. You see that in a Redist folder, we have Visual Studio shells are there. VC runtime. So this is going to be installed automatically. Okay. That's what it is saying, guys. So this is fine. And I'm going to click next now. I'm going to click on the next button. So when I click next button, it will verify again my system, whether your system is ready to install these selected features or not. Yeah, see that, guys. Again, it is verifying. That is what feature rules. Wherever you see rules, guys, in the left side, you see global rules, install rules, feature rules. Wherever you see, and again here, feature configuration rules. Rules is nothing but it is verifying your system, whether your system is ready to install those things or not, whether your system will support those things or not. That is the meaning of rules here. Okay, it's a waiting, guys. So just wait for a minute because it is going to configure these features to start the installation, but not now, but still we need to configure so many other stuff as well. And this is fine. Once we selected the features, I click on next. So when I click on next, so now here, guys, I'm moving on to the instance configuration. In the instance configuration, so usually in our real time, our people will select default instance, guys. Okay, so our people will select default instance, but now for our practice purpose, I'm going to select named instance and I will give one name. If you select default instance, then the system will give one name automatically. Okay, system will give one name automatically, but I don't want to leave the system to give one name. I'm going to select this named instance and I will give one name for this SQL Server. Just give one name, guys, casual. See, I said C spiders. You can give your name also, no problem, but give 3 or 4 letters name. Okay? Just give your name or else whatever your favorite name, you can give it here. But do not start that name with the number, guys. Number, that's not recommended. And always you can make sure it's a letters, any 4 or 5 letters name, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to give the same name C spiders, or else I can give my name CH Reddy also. No, see that when it is a selected default instance, automatically it is giving this a default name. Automatically it is giving. I don't want this name, guys, so I want to give some my name, someone name, instance name. So the instance name is C spiders. Just name, just casual name, guys, and the same name it will appear in instance ID also. Just click here, then it is taking same name. That's it, and click next. So once I click next, it is moving on to the next page. Next page is the server configuration. So after this installation of SQL Server 2017, we no need to restart the computer, guys. We can directly start installation of SSMS component. But this is good practice. Restart the computer after installation of any software. Restart the computer to affect that software. So let's wait for a minute, guys. Yeah, just wait for a minute. Guys, I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Please message me if anyone is not able to see the screen. I will stop the screen share and share it again. Let me stop the screen share and share it again, guys. Yeah, someone is reported they are not able to see the screen share, but I'm not sure. Okay, I just stopped it, guys. Let me stop the screen share and start it again, guys. I'm not sure, guys. So usually it should not be the case like that. Yeah. But sometimes it depends on your the internet speed, guys. See, now we are in a server configuration, and in the server configuration, click next. Okay, guys. So now we can click on here and we can move on to that next. So now here in the server configuration, we are not going to do anything, guys. It's not required to change these service accounts and passwords. It's not required, guys. We can leave all these things as it is in a server configuration. Simply click next. Now the next page is the database engine configuration. This is the next page. And in this next page, if I click on add current user, just click on add current user. We have to do this, guys. Click on add current user. So now it is selected this one and click next. And click next. That's it. So now so far, guys, we have selected all these features. So far we have selected all these options and all. So now the installation is, it is ready to install, ready to start the installation. So ready to install now. So if I click install button, the actual installation is started now. So far we selected all the options. Click on install. This is started. This is very easy to install, guys. So, but sometimes some of the systems may not be the compatible. In that case, we will run into the issues. But 99% I will make sure to install this SQL server in your laptops. Otherwise, don't bother, guys. We have the Microsoft Labs. Okay, so that there you can practice very well, but you should need a good internet speed again. That's fine. Guys, so today you try to install SQL Server software. I will give you this document. I will upload this document to Google Drive folder, guys. I hope you are all received invitation to access the Google Drive folder. Yesterday I sent you all the invitation to access Google Drive folder. There I am going to upload this document as well as all daily class notes. All that I will upload over there, and you can download those notes, guys, daily. Same, guys, I am not going to send the email again. Same link. Yesterday you already received invitation. Open that same folder daily. Okay, and you will see that. So after the class, you can also, yeah, you can also write down your own notes, guys. Okay, your own notes is really good. Yeah. Okay, Jacob, you can disconnect. That's not a problem. Yeah. Okay, guys. So now it is going to take some time, guys. Definitely, because this is my new virtual machine, and in this new virtual machine, it's going to set it up everything. So it will take some time. So once this installation is done, let me show you that, guys. So now this is all screenshots, right? So now scroll down, scroll down. So now the actual installation is started here after I click on install button. So we have to wait for a few minutes, guys, to finish the installation of SQL Server. Depends on the computer configuration. So it will take minimum 15 minutes to up to 1 hour also. That's what my experience with the other laptops, our students' laptops. That's fine. After the installation, the recommended thing is restart the computer. Without restarting computer also, we can do installation of SSMS software. But at least after the installation SSMS software, restart the computers, and then we can start doing. So this is what, double click on a setup file and click next and finish. This is what, guys, the installation of SQL Server software and the SSMS software. These are the two softwares we need to start practicing Transact SQL. That's what SQL also will cover, guys. Sir, are we going to cover only TSQL? TSQL is nothing but SQL commands plus some more advanced commands for Microsoft SQL Server software. We are going to learn SQL plus advanced commands as well. This is fine, guys. So now here, I'm going to talk something interesting here. So now this is my computer. Let's see this, guys. This is my computer, right? This is what our computer. And in this computer, I'm going to install, just assume I have done that installation of SQL Server. Okay, sir, I have done the installation of SQL Server in this computer. And this computer should have a name, right? Let me give the name. I have not given the some kind of favorable name. Let's say SQL VM. Just this is the name of the computer. And inside this computer, we installed SQL Server software. Let's say this is SQL Server software. This is SSMS software. and I'm going to say this is MS SQL Server software. We have installed this software, and here another software. Just assume, guys, we have done this installation of these two softwares. As soon as when we install MS SQL Server software in this mission, so what is the name for this SQL Server? So we given one name, guys. During the installation, you observe one thing. During the installation, I selected named instance and I entered one name. That will be the name of that SQL Server. Name of this SQL Server. What is that name? C Spiders. The same name I given. So the name of the name of the SQL Server instance is C Spiders. So I'm going to put that name over here, guys. This is the C Spiders, the name what I given to this SQL Server during the installation. So now here, once installation is done, we will see a component inside that same computer. Inside that same computer, we will see a component inside this computer, guys. So now, okay, let me put that. Once this MS SQL Server software installation is done, we will see a component called SQL Server Configuration Manager. SQL Server Configuration Manager. This is very small component, guys. This component will come automatically during the installation of SQL Server. So now in this SQL Server Configuration Manager, inside this Configuration Manager, we will see some services, guys. The services which are related to SQL Server software. So we will see some services, but all the services are not required. But I am going to talk about the important service. One of the service is SQL Server service. One of the service we are going to say SQL Server service. Let's assume this is my SQL Server service. This is SQL Server service. So now here we will see a lot of services, guys. Inside this configuration manager, we will see the services. What are these services? SQL Server service, and we will see SQL Server agent service. So I'm going to show that all this after installation of that SQL Server. I will open up configuration manager, and we will see that integration service. And the browsers, this is all not required, but only the one SQL Server service is very important. Browser service. These are the services, and similarly we will see couple of more services, I will say, etc. Okay, inside SQL Server Configuration Manager, we will see SQL services which are related to SQL Server software. One of the service is SQL Server service. What will be there, sir, inside this SQL Server service? Inside that service, guys, yes, we are going to connecting to that service, and we are going to see what is there inside that SQL Server service. Yes, guys, we are going to connecting to that SQL Server service. We will connect and we will see what is there inside that SQL Server service. Inside that SQL Server service, we will see the databases. Inside that SQL Server service, we are going to create some new databases, or else some default databases also there. We can see that the default databases also. This is what databases is. We can see inside SQL Server service, we can create our own databases, as well as we will see some default databases also. This is what inside the database. Inside database, what it will be there? Inside the database, we are going to store our data. How we will store? That's what we are going to talk. This is all will come again and again, guys. I'm just giving you the navigation here. This is what databases. And here we will see default databases. That's what we are going to say, system databases. System databases and user-defined databases. User-defined databases means the databases which we are created. User-defined databases created by DBA, database administrator, or SQL developer. SQL developer means we are the SQL developers. And sometimes DBS also can create these some new databases. System databases means that's what the default databases. Default databases. System databases or default databases, both are same. Okay, guys. So this is what is this? This is SQL Server service. Inside SQL Server service, we can see the databases. How to see databases? All that we can see. Inside one database, what it will be there, sir? Inside one data, guys. You tell me what is the database? In our graduation, when we are studying in our graduation, we have learned that at DBMS or DBMS concept will be there, but not sure for everyone. Mostly, if you are from computer background student, so you should learn this. You should touch this DBMS subject. In a DBMS, they written clearly the database is nothing but a collection of objects. Object means what? Inside the database, we are going to create objects, and in that objects, we can start storing the data. So there will be so many different types of objects will be there. All that will come one by one, guys. So now let's assume one of the object is a table. We are going to create one table. Inside the table, we can start storing the data. Inside the database, guys, this is the navigation. Even for Oracle also same navigation, but in Oracle, little bit it will change. This is the table. Let's assume this is all the objects. Different types of objects we can create, procedures, functions, views, triggers, so many different types of objects will come in the further classes. Let's assume this is one object and this is another object. Different types of objects we can see that, guys. Okay, this is what our database. This is what one database. So inside here, inside another database, we can see different objects. So now objects. One database, guys, I'm using to store. Let's assume one database I'm using, sir, to store all my students' details. Another database I'm using to store some different data. Another database I'm using to store some different data like that. In each database, we can have some different types of and different objects. So what are the objects? Tables, views. I'm just making few of the objects, guys, here. Tables, views, functions, and procedures, and keys. Okay, that's it. So I will say it is. So all this will come. All this we are going to learn. What is a table, sir? Inside the table, we are going to store our details. How we will store? Guys, for suppose you are all my students and I am asking you, please enter your name, your phone number, your email ID, and the course, which course you are looking for. So now that details, how you will provide this? I'm giving you one white paper and I'm asking you, please enter all the details. How you will provide usually? You can simply start writing that your details, because first I will put some headers in that white paper. Based on that headers, you can start filling up the details. So after filling all the details, you can see all those details, all that details in the white paper looks like a table format. Guys, if for suppose you are entering into one, let's say, yeah, similar way. For suppose I'm asking you to enter your all your people names and phone numbers and email IDs, right? All those details. Then what you will do, you will put in the white paper, you will type these headers, 3 names, and start writing all that. And end of that, we can see that paper, all the data looks like a table format. Okay, now see here, I'm going to put ID of the person and the name of the person. Let's say here, let's say gender. Okay, this is what the gender. Let's say here ID, I'm going to store that. Let's say ID of the student is 1. Let's say student name is Jack and male. So second student 2, Vict, let's say female, and third student. So now like this, we are going to start storing the data inside the table. This is what, guys, you see that the navigation in my computer, we installed SQL Server. After that, we have seen that configuration manager. Inside configuration manager, we can see SQL Server service. Inside that SQL Server service, we can see the list of the databases. Inside that each database, we can start creating the objects, and one of the object is a table. This is a table, guys. So let me put here, this is a one of the object is a table. Just we can give one name also for this table. We have to give one name for this table, but this is one of the object table. How your table looks like? Inside the table, we are going to store our data. Any data, guys, any data we can store. All that will come in the next session. So this is what we done, guys. We install this one. So let's go back to this virtual machine. Yeah, it is still going on. Installation is still going on, and it will take some time, guys. Once this is done, so SSMS component installation, just double click on that. It will open one small window and say next and install. That's it. It's a very simple, guys, installation of SSMS, just like a normal software, how we are doing that. Similarly, we can install SSMS software. Just double click on it. It will open a set of file and click next and say install. That's it. Okay, installation will, because I have to finish this one. I don't think we can install SSMS as well at the same time, but I don't want to interrupt this installation. Let's leave this one as it is. Okay, once this is done, we will go back to the, once this installation is done, we can start SSMS installation. Okay, this is fine, guys. So this is what the navigation. Let me save this one, guys, and I will share. I will upload this image to the Google Drive folder. You can download it from there. Okay, and today's notes will start with the number 02. Today's notes will start with the number 02. So 02, because this is the second day. So today's notes will start with the number 2. This is DB navigation. DB. So this is what, guys. Yeah. So this is done. So now we are moving on to. So yeah, once that is done, once installation is done, then only I can show this a configuration manager and SQL Server service. Inside that, if you want connect, sir, I want to see what is there inside this SQL Server service. We need SSMS component. From this SSMS component, we connect to this SQL Server service. We connect to this SQL Server service, and then we can see what is there inside this SQL Server service. That's what here, guys. But we have to wait until this installation is done. Okay, guys. So this is what, guys. So do you have any questions? If no questions, then see you on tomorrow.